Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again and radiating love as always. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the moon in Taurus, which will be here. Well, it went into Taurus yesterday night around like 7 or 8 Eastern Standard Time, and it'll be here all the way up until the 3rd, at least early in the morning on the 3rd. So, of course, the moon loves to be in Taurus. It's exalted here. It feels very comfortable here. And this is going to be us reacting and responding in more grounded ways. And we're really going to be reacting and responding especially to our self-worth, our self-value. And we're definitely going to, like I said, be wanting to get grounded. We're going to be wanting to seek more pleasures. Whenever the moon goes into Taurus, we definitely are seeking more of those earthly-like pleasures. Comfort through food is a big thing that happens through the moon in Taurus. Or I notice that a lot of time, whenever I go on like a vacation, the moon somehow ends up being in Taurus, which is pretty freaking awesome. I love that. But anyways, this moon in Taurus is going to be interesting. Of course, it's going to conjunct over to Uranus. It's going to square all this Capricorn energy. And then there's another interesting transit that's going to be happening right after, right towards the tail end of the moon in Taurus, where it would normally go void, of course, meaning that it's not going to make any more aspects to other planets, but it actually moves along with another planet. So let's take a look at that, guys. I think that was very interesting. So we have right here, at least at this current moment, let's see, hold on. All right, so we do have the moon in Taurus sitting here at 7 degrees. Now, earlier, of course, yesterday or early this morning, the moon did conjunct Uranus, which is in Taurus. So we're going to be getting this energy for quite a while, for the next 6 to 7 years or so. It's still, excuse me, in this first decade of Taurus, so it's very much so a little bit more on the personal level. But the moon conjunct Uranus is definitely us kind of perhaps feelings coming out of nowhere when it comes to self-worth, self-value. These are feelings that are just definitely out of the box. Maybe we're feeling kind of different about, our sense of structure, our sense of groundedness, and Taurus is a very patient and slow-moving sign, but Uranus is a very fast and electric energy. So Uranus doesn't like to be here, honestly. So with the moon here, it kind of is able to comfort Uranus just a little bit. Kind of like, yo, just chill, stop and just like smell the roses. But Uranus is like, I don't want to smell the roses. I want to freaking fix this garden, or I want to, Uranus is definitely very much so a problem solver kind of energy. So this is a time where with the moon conjuncting over to Uranus in Taurus, we're definitely going to be feeling more into our self-worth. We're definitely going to be wanting to seek more of those pleasures, but Uranus is going to be like, if there's an issue, I want to fix it. So this actually will give us an opportunity to kind of feel out any type of inconsistencies that we may feel within this Taurus energy and begin to take the steps towards fixing it. So as we move on, this is Saturday. So as we move on, the moon is going to be continuing its transit throughout Taurus. It is going to sextile over to the North Node as well as trine the South Node. So the trines do bring gifts. So there can be a gift from your past or a gift from past lives that can come up that's going to, help you gain more self-esteem. And the sextile with the North Node is an opportunity. So there can be an opportunity that comes up with family, with your home life, with sanctuary. Excuse me, my throat's a little messed up. Excuse me. Or even ancestors. I would say that both of these energies are playing off ancestors, because the South Node deals with past lives, but it can also deal with ancestors. So definitely be on the lookout. Just kind of, these will come from the subtle realms too. We got to remember that, Cancer definitely has that sort of high priestess kind of energy. So the sextile over to the North Node, pay attention to what your mom says. If you happen to talk to her today, and honestly, call your mother. I know I need to do that. I'm probably going to call her on my way to work. But listen to what she says and just kind of be on the lookout for these small opportunities that are going to be afforded to you by your family or by your ancestors. And this is a good opportunity. The sextile with the North Node will be a very good opportunity for you to, perhaps clean up your home, clean up your sanctuary in a way that does make you feel better about who you are. It just gives you a deeper sense of self-worth. So the moon's going to continue to travel throughout Taurus, of course, and we are going to get that first quarter square today. As you can see, the moon coming to 12 degrees of Taurus with the sun here at 12 degrees. 1 plus 2 equals 3, and 3 is the energy of Jupiter and Sagittarius energy. So this is definitely going to be, with this first quarter square, with the moon in Taurus and the sun in Aquarius, is whether or not we really believe we are worthy, especially when it comes to like our image in like the collective. We're wondering if we're worried. Maybe we're wondering if we're worthy to be a part of a collective. The square brings up a challenge. So it's like you may have certain pleasures that you believe in are good for you, but then the collective may not necessarily believe it's good for you. And you have to discern what you should engage in and what you should not. You have to engage in what works for other people. Does it actually work for me? Or are we a lot more nuanced than that? As humans, it's like sometimes we like to pigeonhole each other into certain boxes, certain diet fads, certain ways of being, certain meditations, certain, whatever it is. And we have to really ask ourselves, what is it that's truly valuable to me? And does that vibe with the collective? And you probably will find a collective that it does vibe with. But what happens a lot of times is that we kind of flow. We kind of go in and out of different things. One day you may vibe with a certain group, and then maybe the next week you don't necessarily vibe with them. But that doesn't mean that they're your enemy. That doesn't mean that you have to fight them. It just means that you're changing and you're human and you're evolving. That's really what it comes down to with that first quarter square. And of course, the moon's going to be trining over to Jupiter at the same time. So this does give a good bit of energy to this. Jupiter, of course, doesn't really like to be in Capricorn, mind you, but this trine over to Jupiter is going to be giving the gift of this experience that comes through hard work and just putting in the time and the effort. That's what Jupiter is. Jupiter wants to give gifts naturally and wants to give abundance, but when it's in Capricorn, it's about the gifts that come through putting in the time and the work and the effort anyways. So that's really what it comes down to with this energy. And as we continue to move forward to the next day, obviously, we're going to see the moon is actually going to trine over to this Pluto and Saturn energy. And it's going to sextile Venus at the same time, pretty much. So we have some positive energy with this moon in Taurus. We really do. The only, I guess you could say, challenge is going to be the squaring energy. But you'll see that we have essentially, that conjunction to Uranus, which can be spun one way or another. And then you get the first quarter square to the sun, which is a challenge, but then you get some positive energy. You get the trining energy over to all of this Capricorn energy. Pluto's here, Saturn's here, and of course you get the sextiling energy over to Venus and Neptune, trining over to these energies. Jupiter is wanting to expand and give fortune. Pluto, of course, is the planet of death and destruction, but also creation. And then, of course, you have Saturn, which rules Capricorn. So this moon in Taurus, they're wanting us to exalt our sense of self-worth and our sense of value. And the sextile over to Venus and the sextile over to Neptune, that's going to happen in the process in Pisces, is saying that we can still have our dreams, we can still have those fantasies, and we can still be better for ourselves too. That's the thing. I think all this energy here is like, at what point do we expect better of ourselves without necessarily getting too hard on ourselves? That's the good thing about the trining energy. But we don't want to get too hard on ourselves, but we can expect better of ourselves, and it's okay to. And even in the midst of that, doesn't mean that our fantasies have to go away. You know, this Venus and Pisces energy is a very romantic kind of energy. It's the kind of energy where you feel like you want to change, and the change just happens without you doing anything about it. You know, it's a sextile. It's an opportunity. And this energy, of course, in Pisces is sextile in Capricorn as well. So there's this interesting energy where the moon's almost sort of uniting these two energies. And, you know, there's an element where we almost have to meet the universe halfway here. It's like, you know, we don't have to necessarily overexert and do everything ourselves, but if we do just enough, the universe will meet us halfway and we'll manifest those changes. Now, the big thing here that I want to note is the fact that you would think at this point the moon would go void, of course, meaning that it doesn't make any more major aspects until it ingresses into another sign. But look where Mercury is at. Mercury is at 29 degrees of Aquarius, getting ready to come into Pisces. It's detriment. It doesn't like to be there. So Mercury is sort of like, it's like getting pulled in by the Pisces energy. It doesn't really want to go there. And it's leaving the comfort of an air sign, and the moon, it just comes in, and look what it does. It does make the square over to Mercury, and they both happen to ingress at the same time. They're going to be squaring each other at 29 degrees of their respective signs, and then they're going to move into Gemini and Pisces at 0 degrees at the same time. So there's going to be this energy where from an emotional standpoint, we're going to be reacting or responding more to the Gemini-like qualities, you know, and our surroundings and our minds are going to be kind of like firing all cylinders. We're going to be reacting more to our own thoughts. And then Mercury going into Pisces means that our thoughts are going to be way the fuck out there. And we're not going to really know what we're thinking. It's pretty Mercury going into Pisces is pretty much like an extended Mercury retrograde. We really don't know what we're saying. It's like trying to talk underwater. Water keeps getting into our mouth, and then you can't really hear anything. So I caution you, don't freak out about what kind of thoughts that you're having. Don't freak out about the conversations, and try not to react too volatilely. Because honestly, everyone's thought process is going to be way the fuck out there. We're not really going to know what we're saying. We're not going to be knowing what we're thinking. And, you know, it's definitely going to be very interesting. The good thing about Mercury and Pisces is that it's really good for creatives. It's really good for writing. It's really good for poetry or any type of creative writing. It's really good for that. But as far as like trying to make logic and sense out of things, nah, it's not really good for that. And then the moon in Gemini is just going to be trying to kind of make sense of it, but not really. So it's going to be interesting this weekend. We're getting some positive energy here, a lot of dealings with self-worth and value and wanting better of ourselves and realizing that, you know, if we put in the time and the work and the effort, and the universe will really meet us halfway, and how this really does show to how we are all co-creators. We are creators, and the universe will help us if we decide to help ourselves. But then as we move into next week, things are about to get weird as fuck. So, and I think that's just about going to do it for this Moon in Taurus transit video. I appreciate you all joining. I'm going to just draw a quick tarot card just to end this off, just to see what we get. And the card that we have, interesting enough, is the Princess of Swords. We had the Princess of Swords. You see how focused she is on her goal. And there's like, it's not an eagle. Is it a kite? I don't know what bird that is. I don't know why I want to think that it's a kite. It's not an eagle. It doesn't, and it seems a little bit more, I'm not saying that eagles aren't elegant, but I'm saying it looks a little bit, this one looks a little bit more sleek. But the Princess of Swords is saying that, you know, we can be kind of rash with our thought process. We can be sort of, or I feel like this energy is really coming towards the end of it. And that's what we're kind of building up to. There's this Princess of Swords kind of energy. You know, the princess, she wants to become the queen, right? So in order to become the queen, she may try to act out and say different things because she feels like that's how she's going to get that attention. And it may be to her own detriment if she does that. She may be a little too rash, a little too out there. The Princess of Swords, which relates to the Page of Swords, essentially, is this sort of initiate energy when it comes to air. So I like to think of it's this the students of air energy. So we are having to relearn our thought processes. We're all having to relearn communication. And oh boy, is that freaking true, especially with the sun square, with the moon square over the sun, the first quarter square, and the sun's in Aquarius, and Aquarius pretty much rules the internet and social media. Communication is really complex. And it's weird how, and I believe that the internet and social media is ultimately going to be a good thing, but I do feel at the same time we are a bit isolated when it comes to communication. It's like we can communicate through this all day, but when it comes to just meeting a random stranger on the street, we can't strike up a conversation. So maybe it'll be a good idea this weekend to strike up a conversation with someone that you don't even know at all. You probably will learn something about yourself and them. And you never know. Some very powerful messages can come through that conversation. That is going to be it for this video. I got to get out of here. I got to run to work, but I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me on this Moon and Taurus transit video. And I will see you all tomorrow for the Shooting Star Daily for February 2nd. Hope that you all have a lovely weekend. And as always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often. I think I crack. Did you hear that? Woo! Thank you for joining, Noah. Thank you so much.